story out of the US of A
Yes.
today. Just because it's a strange one, and this has been syndicated to every newspaper, news website. You've probably come across it.
Do it.
Thieves use pram to smuggle shark.
Wait.
Now, what you're picturing is exactly what happened in this situation.
Oh my god. I made GarageBand angry. My laugh was too loud. A pop-up came up and it was like, are you sure?
Are you sure you want this? This is a little bit loud.
No, I do want this. This is, oh my gosh. Give me this story, please.
2 men have admitted to a bizarre heist that saw a shark smuggled out of a Texas aquarium in none other than a pram. Leon Valley Police Chief Joe Salvaggio, told reporters on Monday night that the men confessed to taking the 1.5-foot-long horn shark from the San Antonio aquarium after police officers showed up at one of their homes with a search warrant.
Oh my god. You can't see my face, but I'm grinning like an idiot. Oh, this is the best crime that's ever happened in history.
It sure is.
I have so many questions. I don't want to interrupt, though, because I feel like you're going to get just like, oh, wow.
The female shark, known as Helen, was brought back to the aquarium Monday evening and received a hero's welcome from employees.
This is the real Ocean's 11.
It's like the Ocean's 3, because there's 3 of them. Oh, 2 men, sorry. The 2 men. Well, there were 2 men and a woman. So it is Ocean's 3. 2 men and a woman.
And a shark.
And a shark. It's like a sitcom.
Shark in a pram.
A shark called Helen.
This sounds like something that I would expect to see in like a hypothetical 14th season of Friends when they've run out of ideas, like the one with the shark in a pram. Like, oh, you know how
it's jumping the shark to a new level, hey?
Exactly. How did they have like a fish tank at home or something? Or like, did the shark live?
Well, it said, the shark's still alive. It said, the men put the shark into a bucket and loaded it into the bottom part of the pram before placing the unusual cargo in a maroon truck.
That's incredible. When you're inside this aquarium and you're going to... I love the detail of the maroon truck, by the way.
Yeah, it's really important, the colour of that truck.
Paints a picture.
Yeah, it does.
Like, so if it's a small shark, so I guess they could be like reaching over into the tank to like fish out this shark. Did they have like shark retrieval tools? Did they just kind of like jump in and pull it out? Like, I can't imagine you could do this in a stealth way. I don't see how it's physically possible.
The shark is like flopping around everywhere.
Yeah, like... Even if you put it in a bucket, it's still going to be freaking out. Like, how can you possibly do this in, like, a subtle way? And they have security in...
Yes.
I guess this aquarium mustn't. This must be a super chill aquarium.
Oh, it's... Well, it says they staked out the shark pool for more than an hour before taking the animal. So they were standing around the shark's pool for more than an hour, just looking at the shark, waiting for the right opportunity to grab it. And it said when they grabbed the shark by the tail, the other 2 people wrapped it in a wet blanket.
So, okay, yeah, they kind of just leaned in and grabbed a shark out.
They leaned in and grabbed a shark out of the water.
Had to loiter there for an hour to make sure no one watched them kidnap a shark. Like, how would you react if you saw someone kidnapping a shark? Because I think I would see it and I'd just be like, you must work here. There's no reason a normal person would do that.
Right, I would just assume they were staff.
They probably wouldn't have got caught if they just played it cool and they just went in, were like, all right, this is our shark. Oh, we're just taking this one out the back for tests. And they just walked out. This is the greatest heist in human history.
It is. It's a wonderful story, frankly. I'm a bit disappointed they didn't get away with it, though.
They deserve to, honestly. I think they should. The judge should let them off.
Yeah. They should be allowed to keep the shark after the good work they did.
What did they want a shark for?
I don't know, but follow-up point. The aquarium doesn't deserve to have the shark if they're an aquarium with such lax security that people can literally grab a shark out of the water.
All things considered, though, like, given that I think it's safe to say stealing this shark might just be one of the weirdest, dumbest ideas I've ever heard. So I think that if someone, like the aquarium at some point, probably like, do you need like security? And people are like, what? Are people going to like take the sharks?
What do you think? People are going to steal a shark? Come on, Gary, get with it. Get real.
Exactly. There's no logical justification for it.
That's true. Personally, I've never been tempted to steal a shark when I've been at an aquarium.
What animal would you steal?
If I could steal an animal from the zoo or from an aquarium.
From an aquarium specifically. Zoo is too broad. Zoo is too broad a spectrum. I want to know.
Yeah, from an aquarium. Probably, I don't know. Probably a penguin.
That's pretty. I would steal an octopus because they're the ultimate escape artists, and they would be able to help me with the heist after like they were in on it.
Well, that's true. They would be in on it.
Like, I would go up to the octopus. I wouldn't have to fish out for the octopus. I would just go up to the octopus tank, do like a come hither hand gesture, and it would just climb out. It would unlock it and come and get in my pram for me.
You slip it a $50 note and...
This story is from the Toowoomba Chronicle. The headline is, Husband loses wife. And she's not happy.
What?
So husband, and then in inverted commas, loses wife, ... and she's not happy.
Okay. Did he just leave her in the supermarket and forget to pick her up?
Oh, it's so much worse.
Did that ever happen to you as a child?
Are you asking if I ever got abandoned in a supermarket, Alison? Yes. Not that I remember. I feel like I probably would, unless I repressed it.
I think there was my mum's listening to this, no doubt. But there was a time when she was picking up my youngest sister from preschool.
Yeah.
And I think it was my other sister got left at the preschool for a little while.
Whoops.
By my mum.
I know.
Good work, Mum.
As a teen, I was once waiting to get picked up after school, and I called my dad after waiting for like half an hour, and I was like, "Yo, Dad, you coming to get me?" And he's like, "Ah, fuck." I knew I forgot some. All right, just stay there. I'll be there in 15 minutes.
You're just letting out our parental trauma now.
Okay. Excuse me. Hubby is in the doghouse at the moment after losing his wife for a couple of days.
For a couple of days?
Good wife had been feeling ill, and so eventually went off to see her doctor, who put her straight into the hospital. The woman's daughter tried a number of times to ring her mother's husband, but he had inadvertently left the phone slightly off the hook, and no calls were getting through.
Oh no.
To his credit, he hadn't forgotten his wife and had wandered around the house wondering where she could be for 2 days before word reached him that she was in the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry. When he couldn't find her around the house, did he just be like, oh, she must be in the toilet.
She's been in there for a while, huh?
She must be on her period.
Honey, are you okay in there? No, she's not talking to... I guess she's mad at me, huh?
She must be mad at me. I'm sorry for disturbing you in the toilet, honey.
He spent 2 days just, like, panicking, wondering what it was he did to make her so upset to stay in the bathroom for 2 days.
He sat down for dinner and wondered why dinner wasn't on the table.
Oh, gosh.
How does this happen?
During this time, his wife, a fiery redhead...
Oh, perfect. She fits right in.
Was wondering why her husband hadn't bothered to visit her. Do you think... So you're wandering around the house for 48 hours.
Sure.
At no point do you think to check if the phone, like maybe call someone. Like, he didn't touch the phone at any point during this whole process. It stayed slightly off the hook the whole time.
You'd think that, like, you'd at least contact the daughter who's involved in this situation and be like, have you seen your mother? Is your mother coming to visit you or something?
I guess these people don't have, like, mobiles or something? Like,
I
Toowoomba... Jesus Christ. Toowoomba is a radio dead zone. There's no cell phones allowed there, apparently.
At what point is it appropriate to be like, hey... I feel like give it like maybe 1 day maximum, but 2 days?
At some point,
That's like one whole night has passed and you still haven't seen your
Yeah.
wife around the house. Maybe she's not in the house.
There's only a few options for what's happened there. There's one, she's left you, which, given this look.
Look, I wouldn't blame her.
2, like, she's been murdered or something.
Yes.
3, she's in the hospital. They're the 3 options. There's literally nothing else.
4, abducted by aliens.
Abducted by aliens, but, like, I figure that's basically the same as being murdered because you ain't seeing her again for, like, 20
Or in
years.
the hospital. Because
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose it's like a
Well,
medical testing center.
good aliens do deposit people back at the hospital because, like, they know...
do. Yeah.
They know it's going to be necessary.
The good aliens deposit people back with enough time has passed in their time that they can do their experiments, but also that it's only been like 1 second our time, so that no one noticed that they were abducted except for them.
Yeah. It's nice.
I've talked to a lot of alien people.
I get that. You're the expert. So we've reached the end. The couple was eventually reunited at the hospital, but our man wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms.
No!
Can't imagine why.
So his headline goes, New England Black Panther could be a feral cat. People from across the region have recently shared their panther sighting stories. However, it's possible they've spotted an elusive but destructive feral cat.
Alison, when was this article released?
Today.
They're biting our turf because this is our story. We've said all of this in our episode of this very popular
Jameson's
show.
listening to us.
Yeah, I'm accusing this person quite directly of plagiarizing from our very good show. Because, yeah, no shit, it's a cat. It's not a panther.
Well, he doesn't say that, though. He said it's possible it's a cat. It's possible.
Oh, okay.
We're not
right.
sure, though. It could be a cat.
I mean, what else could it be? Like a robot? Like, there's not a lot of options. Panthers, unless a panther has escaped from a zoo at some point in the last few years, which I feel like I would know about.
I feel like a lot of people would know about that.
The options are, right, A, robot, which is unlikely because I've seen the big dog robot and it's impressive, but it's not impressive enough to actually pass as a cat. B, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles version of a cat, so it's like a cat that went into a sewer and got mutated. And I can't think of a C because they're the only 2 options outside of it is just a cat, which, given how unlikely the first 2 seem, is probably real. So no
it's
shit,
a cat.
Jameson or whatever your name was.
To be fair, I don't think the story is in the fact that there's a panther anymore. I think the story is in this journalist, Jameson Murphy, for the Northern Daily Leader. Is that what it is? Yeah, the Northern Daily Leader is just spending his entire journalism career chasing up this panther story, and his editor is allowing it.
Do you think this is how he's trying to claw back some credibility after having written about the Panther documentary last week? So he's written that, and he's probably got a lot of mean tweets being like,
It's a cat! It's a cat!
Jamie, this is some real bullshit. It's a cat, man.
So he's like, I'm writing a story tomorrow focusing on the cat angle, okay? It's a possibility.
The cat angle. In this day and age, it's really important for journalism to be balanced and to demonstrate both sides of an argument.
Absolutely.
Like this one.
Now, just whenever I read stories like this, I like to imagine us pitching this to Peter Frey back in advanced journalism.
Shout out to
Peter Frey.
UTS professor.
And I like to imagine being in that classroom and pitching this story to him and his reaction and getting roasted.
I know he never really swore at us, but I can hear him in my mind just saying like, what the fuck, Alison?
I can accept Scientology, I won't accept Panthers.
Alison, I'm not going to explain to you why it's a bad story, just get a different
Give me
one.
another Scientology story. No more of this Panther shit.
Get ready.
So the headline is, Eastern brown snake finally caught by Queensland snake catcher after 5-hour standoff.
Jesus.
Patience and persistence. Go ahead, sorry.
It's like that scene in The Hurt Locker where there's a sniper battle and it takes 5 hours. Except it's a snake and a man, and there's no guns.
Yeah.
And I assume no one died.
No one died. He's alive, I assume. Who knows?
I hope.
Who knows what happened after the telling of this tale? Patience and persistence has paid off for a Queensland snake. God. Patience and persistence has paid off for a Queensland snake catcher who had a 5-hour Mexican standoff with a mammoth eastern brown. Andrew Smedley, who owns Andrew's Snake Removal, spent a large chunk of Tuesday in wait for an eastern brown that had made a habit of sunbaking on a rock wall at a residence in Marburg, 60 kilometres west of Brisbane.
Can I just quickly interrupt you
Yes.
to say that I know it's not what it meant, but after you said a mammoth eastern brown snake, all I could imagine is a snake with tusks. And I can't think of a more terrifying creature to possibly exist.
A hairy
than
snake,
a snake with
tusks.
spikes. A hairy snake with tusks coming out the front of it. And that's the perfect predator.
Well, that absolutely exists for all our overseas listeners. That's a classic Australian animal. A mammoth snake with hair and tusks that crawls around at night and likes hotels, especially where people stay.
If you feel something furry crawling by your leg and then you feel a sort of pointed piece of bone piercing your sternum, you will know that that's one of the mammoth snakes, and you can't trust them, but at that point, they've already got you.
Only Mr. Smedley can help you. I just like his name, Andrew Smedley.
That's a really good name.
So...
It's like a classical Australian doofus hero name.
Andrew Smedley to the rescue. Just the way the story is written is great, though. It says, the snake had a habit of making daily appearances at about 9 a.m. And sure enough, as if it was keeping an appointment, the Eastern Brown slithered out for its cameo, but not long enough for Mr. Smedley to nab it. It swiftly retreated into the rock wall, and that's when the fun and games began for the Ipswich-based catcher, who first tried to flush it out using a garden hose.
What, are you trying to, drown this snake?
I don't know if this guy, Andrew Smedley, is a professional snake remover, or if it's just some dude they found on, Craigslist.
They just walked out onto the street and they were like, there's a fucking snake in here!
It's got tusks and hair! Come on!
And then Andrew from outside goes, holy shit, there's a snake? I want to see!
Oh, I want to have a look!
And then the confusion escalated from there.
Absolutely. It swiftly retreated into the... Oh, I've said that one. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it's got his quotes. Look, at the end of the story, we've got a little bit of sponsored content about Andrew Smedley's company.
Ooh, okay.
He said the charge to remove a snake starts between $50 and $100, although some people balk at that. You have to keep your prices reasonable because not everyone wants to pay. 70% of people who call want a free service, and some of them don't want to pay. They said they'd rather kill it. So...
What? That's a fun idea. So, I didn't know that was an option in terms of paying for stuff. Like, when I call the handyman to come and fix my oven or something like that, if he comes and he does it, and then he says, all right, that'll be $100.
So, oh, no.
If I go...
I want a free service, please.
What? I didn't think... No, this is free, isn't it?
Yeah, this is free service.
And then he just goes, dang, you got me there.
Well, this...
Had I known that was an option, I would have been using that for, a lot more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have paid for any of this recording equipment. I would have just said, sorry, I thought this was free. I guess it's mine now.
I wouldn't have paid for an internet service. Oh, wait. I better bloody not be paying.
So this is from the Newcastle Herald.
Mm-hmm.
The headline is, Pretzels making punters thirsty.
I like pretzels.
A Newcastle restaurant that had only one item on its menu after 9 p.m, a German-style pretzel with cheese dipping sauce.
Oh, sounds good.
Has been fined $4,700 for operating as an unauthorized bar.
Oh. Does it serve alcohol?
Five Sawyer's licensee Benjamin Benjamin Jewson, pleaded guilty last week in Newcastle local court after the offence was detected during a liquor and gaming at New South Wales compliance operation. Inspectors visited the Derby Street restaurant between 9:35 and 10:25 on September 16 last year and found no table service was being offered and patrons were buying drinks from the bar. The duty officer told inspectors that they had only a limited menu available after 9 p.m, with the sole item being a German-style pretzel.
Yum.
I just think that's, like, in terms of... Because there's a lot of restrictions around the way you can do bars. And I've never thought of it, the idea of lying and saying that it's a restaurant and saying, no, we serve food. Look, it's a pretzel. I'm just holding it up.
It's a pretzel emporium. Duh.
We're a pretzelarium. And
Pretzelarium.
Okay, I've got a counter-suggestion, actually. What if this actually did start out as legitimately just a pretzel restaurant? So it was a pretzelarium. But then
people were thirsty.
Yeah, people were thirsty, so they were like, all right, we've got to expand on this concept. We originally had, like 20 different kinds of pretzels on their menu and, like, 30 different kinds of cheese dipping sauces. But people only wanted their one German-style pretzel. And their one plain... cheese. It's like that plastic cheese slices melted down. That's all they wanted is the dipping sauce.
Oh god!
And then they kept saying,
they throw a Kraft single on a plate in the microwave.
That's how they
peel the plastic off first, and then just
they just make. They tried to experiment by getting, like, pretzels, as in, like, a bag of pretzels, and putting that in a bowl and just melting cheese onto it and kind of making a pretzel mac and cheese. And then people were like, no, that's the worst thing that's ever happened ever.
They just, Mr. Bean episode where he, like, breaks off the twig on his tree and dips it in Marmite and then he gives it to his girlfriend as a snack?
I don't, but that sounds wonderful.
Well, that happened in Mr. Bean, and that's what they're doing at this emporium in Newcastle. They're just breaking twigs off trees and dipping it in a Kraft single, which has been melted down lightly.
And then they're selling, like, 100 gin and tonics to wash it down and making the big bucks.
So people forget that what they've just eaten is a twig dipped in Kraft singles.
Okay.
I mean, it's fair enough.
Okay, maybe that's how it got started. So they offered them this twig Kraft single combo, and someone ate it, and they were like, "This is disgusting. Can I have my money back?" And then the person was like, "Here's this gin and tonic. Use that to wash it down." And they made them drink enough of them that they forgot.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So it's not an illegal bar grift. What it is a grift to make people...
go to a pretzel restaurant.
Go to a really bad pretzel restaurant. And perhaps they just didn't want to admit to the person who pioneered this great recipe that it was bad because they knew it would hurt their feelings.
Plus, alcohol dehydrates you, so you're going to want to keep buying more drinks after that. That's the ingeniousness of it. Like, they dehydrate you so much at the door with the pretzels that when you get in there, you're like, no, I need fluid. Do you have any tap water?
Absolutely.
Do you have any tap water? It's like, well, it's diluted vodka, but we can make it work, I'm sure.
Our tap water's direct from the toilets, so maybe you might...
Our tap water got mixed up with the pretzel salt.
So we only offer bespoke salt water here, like straight from the ocean. So unless you want that... it's really vogue.
Did you bring your own desalinator? We're all about deconstructed foods these days.
Can you imagine? You go to a restaurant and you order a tap water and they just bring you, like, a glass of seawater and they place a desalinator on the table. You have to remove the crab from your glass of seawater, pour it into the desalinator, and then you can desalinate your own tap water.
And the crab is bonus protein.
Yeah. It's really bespoke, actually.
Ultimately,
like, if I was...
that's basically a protein bar gym food that right there. Like, you have to carry the desalinator, then you get to eat the crab, then you have to... The desalinator, obviously, like, you wouldn't be so gauche as to have an electricity-powered one. You do have, like, a winding desalinator. Oh, so you have to do that workout as well.
You could attach it to, like, one of the exercise bicycles, so as you pedal, your water desalinates, and you can only drink water during your workout if you're working out really hard enough for your water to desalinate. Otherwise, you have to drink salt water.
You know how you get like rowing machines and they'll work with like this sort of like tube thing of water at the front of it?
Yeah.
I'm now imagining if you go on like a long rowing adventure out on the ocean, you're going to reach the problem of like you're going to run out of water. But not if you have a desalination plant built in that uses the power of your rowing to like filter the water through, and then it just tubes it right into your mouth. And if you don't row hard enough, you're going to get salt water in there. So you've got to keep going at like max speed the whole time.
So you're telling me that it pumps the water into your mouth at a kind of regular interval, so you have to keep rowing,
Yes,
otherwise
exactly.
you're going to have
salt water in there, and it's not going to be very nice for you.
It's going to be blasted directly into your mouth.
Oh, God.
We're solving a lot of world issues today. It's solving global warming. We've got the new power plan. We're solving childhood obesity, because I'm assuming we're going to implement this in schools.
Yeah. Obviously.
In all schools.
Also, we are kickstarting this shit out of personal desalinators because, like, we're making big bucks off that.
But the market we're targeting is not individuals. We're going to target the bespoke restaurant scene so that they can have it on the table for the tap water service.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Deconstructed water. But then you have to consider, like, okay, if you are deconstructing water, so is that like tap water's the final product? Or are we talking like H2O? Are we giving you're giving them a bottle of like hydrogen, a bottle of oxygen, and you're like...
You have to do the scientific reaction.
There's like a beaker and a spoon, and you're like, figure it out. Google it.
You're given like the scientific procedure on how to make the molecules mash together. That's the scientific terminology there.
At that point, you're basically God. So really, we're giving you a gift.
So, well, like, how far could you go to deconstruct it, though? Because you could break it down from the like hydrogen molecules
the
and have, like...
level?
Yeah, a series of, like, protons and neutrons and electrons and all that kind of stuff.
Warning, when mixing up your water, be careful not to split any atoms. You can and will destroy everyone in the city. You may open a black hole to another world. Whilst this may seem like an exciting concept, please refrain, as you and all of your loved ones will die.
And in the future, like, it's going to be one of those places that those really risk-taking tourists go to that, you know, you might die of radiation poisoning because someone split an atom there and made a nuclear reaction thing, and it's really radioactive now, but people go there on holidays, and they're like, tour guides like, yeah, so one day someone got their deconstructed water and they accidentally cut right into the atom, cut it right in half. And that's the story.
Picture this, 100 years in the future, a grizzled man sits by a campfire under a burnt-out building. A young girl is listening to him tell stories of the before times. She says, "What happened? How did all this start?" And he says, "Well, there was two foolish young kids recording what they called a podcast. They had this crazy idea to deconstruct water down to the subatomic level and sell it for money. And the rest, as you know, is history. Now the world's ended."
I feel personally responsible for killing the entire world, so please don't try this at home.
Yeah, like, don't at me. I don't want to deal with the
aftermath
of that. Just let it happen.
Yeah, look, if the world ends because someone split an atom in their deconstructed water emporium, then it's not really my fault. I was just taking this to its logical conclusion. Blame the person who brought deconstructed toast into the
existence.
World. Yeah.
I can't really remember how we got onto this, so would you like to bring us another story, please?
What story did we even start with?
Oh, it was the pretzels thing.
Okay. Well...
The Red Menace, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you came here for.
So it says, a backpacker has sparked fury in Thailand after begging for cash from locals in order to fund his trip. A photograph shows two men who have not been identified sitting on the ground of a busy market next to handwritten signs, local sites Coconuts reported. The signs contained identical messages, one written in Thai and the other written in English. And this is what the sign says. My name is Alex. I'm travelling in Asia for 15 months. Sadly, I'm out of my savings, but I stay positive. The sign read, I'd like to ask for your kindness to fulfill my dreams of travelling. Please donate for my trip. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a dickhead. Please give me all your money so I can continue being a dickhead.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a privileged white boy who didn't save up for my trip, but I want to continue travelling.
I need to go to Thailand and do more drugs, please. I really would like you to fund my ecstasy fund. Christ, what an asshole.
What a douche.
Go home, Alex. You're done.
Call your mum and say, Mum, I have no money. Please pay for a flight home.
Fuck me.
This kind of behaviour, like, I'm not an outrage kind of person, you know. I'm a kind of chill girl, but going into a country which is clearly not as, you know, not as well off as our own country. He's going to be
sitting next to, like, a homeless busker with, like, nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus.
And the picture just shows the two boys with their backpacks and the signs, just having a fun old time.
Sell
because
your
begging's
fucking
really
backpack then. You've got stuff. Like
you've got stuff. Oh gosh. So it's got the image was posted onto Facebook by local Palm J Sitchai, who was bemused by the sight when he came across at Samkong Market in Phuket.
The comment was just like, lol, what a dick.
Well, essentially. City Chai wrote, wait a minute, they do this now? Farangs.
Wait,
Farang
what?
is like Westerner in Thai.
Yep.
Farangs beg for travel money at Samkong Market. Is this right?
Oh my gosh.
I'll answer your question there, City Chai. No.
I need money to help find myself. It's a finder's fee for myself and my soul.
Oh gosh. So it says beg packing is the name of this kind of act. And the thing is, this isn't a single instance.
Jesus.
It says backpacking, where shameless Western backpackers beg for travel money on the streets of Southeast Asia, has become a rising problem. And last year, Thailand began cracking down on it. Thai Visa, an online forum for expats in Thailand, says that it has learned of several instances where immigration officials at a number of border checkpoints across Thailand have been asking people entering the country on a tourist visa to prove they have the funds. Good. As you should be.
Yeah. They're only shameless because their shame has been transferred onto me, and I'm feeling it so acutely now, like embarrassed.
I'm feeling like very secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah. Well, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, you know, you're probably right. There probably was like a poor homeless family sitting across from them, you know, begging for food money.
If this white asshole got money that person could have got, like,
yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. I think
Follow-up point.
Yeah, you go.
How entitled do you have to be to, like, beg from locals to continue your trip?
I think.
Do you know what people do, like, when they come to Australia? Like, maybe I'm outraged about this because I teach international students here in Australia, and I teach people who are here on tourist visas. People who are here on tourist visas and don't have money go to fucking work in the farms in the middle of nowhere for less than minimum wage, which is depressing. But this is the situation we put these kind of travellers in our country. But they just expect to get handouts when they go overseas.
Well, the only job they can get is at Daddy's firm, but unfortunately that's back in Australia, so, I mean, we can't do that from here. I can't work on, like, the farm, so, like, I need someone to give me money so I can keep traveling so I can be really ready to work for Daddy's firm.
Yeah, well, Dad said I could work from his firm abroad, like, by distance, but, like, you know, that would require maybe 2 hours of my day to kind of go back to the internet cafe and do that. And, like, I'm just here to find myself, you know, find who I really am.
Fucking jokes. All right, can I give us another story?
Absolutely.
So this is from the Toowoomba Chronicle. Mm-hmm. And this is a story where the actual thing that happens in the story is, for all intents and purposes, like, from a sociological perspective, good. Mm-hmm. The way that it's written is very upsetting.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And I fair warning to all the listeners, this one is a little bit blue, so if that's a problem, just sort of, you know, skip ahead 5 minutes or so. All right. Man born without penis given bionic organ.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. Second line. A man born without a penis has finally had sex at 45 after doctors constructed him a bionic member.
Oh, no.
And you won't believe what the focal point of this whole article is.
Him losing his virginity?
Surgeons created the £50,000 Australian dollars, $91,477 organ using skin from Andrew Wardle's arm before attaching it during a 10-hour operation. Mm-hmm. He had sex with girlfriend Fedra Fabian using a button to pump it up.
Why is this like... You can just imagine the awkwardness in the interview room between this journalist and the man who it involves. And, you know, he's just had this amazing surgical procedure, which is really, you know, good for him, good for the surgeons. That arm penis thing, that sounds impressive.
Yeah.
I wonder, how does that work? And so he just starts explaining about that kind of stuff. And the journalist's like, can I just stop you there for a second? So when you were doing it with your girlfriend, how did you make it go up? Like, can it go up, or tell me about that?
I use a button to pump it up. Oh, he's English, so I use a button to pump it up. There's a little button.
Oh dear.
Makes it bigger. Mr. Wardle of Manchester said, I'm so pleased with it.
Good accent.
Thank you. I know that's not what a Manchester accent sounds like. I'm just going with generic Downton Abbey accent.
Generic, not Australian.
Exactly. No, I can just imagine this guy being like, he's probably talked to like several scientists, none of whom are quoted in this article, because the moment the journalists learn about the sex angle, he immediately stops caring about that.
He just cancelled a bunch of interviews, like right there then on the spot. He's like, I no longer need to interview you about the procedure. I've got a new angle.
He was in the room with Andrew, and Andrew was talking about, like, it's a medical miracle, like, it's life-changing, and the journalist, like, leans in real close and just goes, so, you guys, you know, done the, you know, and he's, like, eyebrows raising constantly.
So,
like,
yeah, does it work? Does it work?
Alternating, winking, like, one eye after the other. And I like to believe that this person is incapable of talking about sex in a verbal way, and they can only write it down. So I actually don't think that they were willing to say the word sex in the interview.
Did you you know what I mean? Did you?
Mr. Wardle had to endure a painful 10-day erection after surgeons attached the penis. Which, like, Jesus.
I'm not a man. I can't relate, but it doesn't sound ideal. But
after using his new manhood to have sex for the first time, in a 30-minute session with girlfriend Fedra Fabian...
Did they need to say how long it would take?
Apparently. He set his heart on being a dad. I love this idea of this guy, like, bones down for the first time, and he's like, well, shit, I want to keep doing this. This is awesome. I'm being a dad now.
Oh my God, I'm just like the journalist sitting there. So when you did it, how long did it go for? And then at the end it's just like, nice.
Like, that's I could see this guy being, like, excited enough to volunteer this information, because I can't imagine a human being journalist asking these questions. No. Like, that's the most awkward conversation that would have ever happened, and there's no way this story would get published, because this guy would immediately rescind the right for him to use his name. Like,
yeah, sure. He must have, like, voluntarily been like, do you know what I did? You know what I did? My girlfriend. And then he was just so proud of himself.
And he just couldn't shut up about it. And she was sitting there the whole time being like, I'm in hell right now.
Incredibly uncomfortable.
After all Fedra and I have been through, it's the cherry on the cake. And, like, fair enough. That's actually... This alternates between being quite sweet and being very unpleasant.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't like it.
It's like that torture where you get taken from like a hot place to a cold place and they just switch you back and forth, and I can't.
It's like, I'm just, the tonal shifts, I'm just like, oh, that's love. Oh, that's great. Oh, love. Oh. It's very uncomfortable for me.
He eventually went under the knife in June when surgeons created the organ using skin from his arm and nerves from his legs and then attached it in a 10-hour procedure. Andrew from Manchester, that's the second time they've mentioned that, spent 10 days with the agonizing erection and was ordered to wait at least 6 weeks before having sex. Fair enough. But it proved worthwhile when he finally romped with Fedra, 28, who called the experience amazing.
So the journalist is now asking the girlfriend.
Yes.
So was it good?
How was it any good? It'd be unfortunate. It's like, if it wasn't though, like you'd kind of be like, well, I mean, you know, first time, like with a not normal thing, like fair enough.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Andrew, who uses a button in his groin to inflate the organ with a saline fluid via a valve in his scrotum, told The Sun he was chuffed with his, quote, ridiculously big new penis.
Oh my God.
This is the bit that gives me...
You needed to talk about the size.
This is the bit that makes me think that maybe this article is Andrew's idea.
Sure. Yes. I mean, yeah, look, I'm not sure why that would be included if it wasn't his idea.
No, just Christ. And then the rest of it is like some genuinely interesting like scientific information that I just don't know is the correct tone for this podcast.
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like if they had have stuck to the scientific information, and, you know, there may be a heartwarming bit about this guy finally, you know, getting to be intimate with his girlfriend and finally getting to have a penis. You know, great. Like good for him.
Yeah, there's a lovely, sweet story in there, but they just made it so nasty.
They just did. They made it so
the first
inherently disgusting.
And they've buried the good stuff like 2/3 of the way through the article. It's so frustrating.
The first sentence, though, that got me.
Yeah, like, you're just primed for this, like, you know, heartwarming tale of, you know, someone feeling whole after 45 years, and it's like, nah, they did fuck, though.
Oh, my God.
I've got a story that's, well, it's not, I don't know if it's a story, but it's an interesting concept. This is from the Catherine Times.
Classic
The headline is Nominate a Mobile Phone Black Spot. So the concept is the federal government has reopened the Mobile Black Spot Program's database of reported black spot locations for new nominations from state and local governments and federal members of parliament. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because I've recently discovered a black spot right near my home.
That's not ideal.
And it is the moment you step through the door archway into the Nando's near my house, my phone goes from 4 bars to 0 bars, no SOS, no nothing. It can't communicate with the outside world.
Is Nando's in, like, a parallel universe?
You know what? I hadn't thought of that. My theory was that Nando's building was made entirely out of lead. So, like...
I mean, that's true. It could be the case.
I couldn't think of why that would be. I like this parallel universe idea. I thought that maybe there was some sort of, like, hacker group working out of the Nando's, and they only, like, they didn't want to be able to be hacked, so they're only using, like, cables under the building, so that's why my phone has to be inoperable inside of the Nando's.
It's like a front for a Russian hacking ring that's hacking Twitter or something.
It's exactly like
what it is. It's what you were going to say.
Yeah. Also, whenever I catch the train and I go through, what's the name of the station? Through St. Peter's Station, a fucking EMP goes off. And my phone, again, is inoperable for upwards of 3 to 4 minutes. Like, I've been on the phone on the train through there and it's gone. And I don't know what's happening in St. Peter's. I don't know if I've ever actually been to St. Peter's, the suburb, but I know some shit is going on there because they don't allow the signals to get in or out.
Interesting. Area 51 is what's happening there. It's about the only explanation.
The Area 51, the Nando's near my house. That's where all the aliens are kept.
The US government's had to clear them out of Area 51 because too many...
Oh, fuck, Alison. I've just realised that's what the meat is.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I've been eating aliens. I thought it was lemon and herb flavoured chicken. Fuck. I don't want to eat an alien.
You see, like, the leathery corpses of the alien in, like, those alien autopsy photos. And you ever sit and think, what does that alien taste like?
Oh, my God. I know what it tastes like. It tastes like lemon and herb flavoured chicken.
Did they add the lemon and herb on the alien, or does it naturally have a lemon and herb flavour?
I think it's just a natural coating of its skin that I consumed into my body. It's a natural oil that the alien secretes. Oh, no.
Like, imagine being an animal that secreted a lovely, delicious lemon and herb dressing.
You'd be so fucked. That is evolution fucked
That's
up.
evolution saying...
Evolution did a bad job on that one.
That's evolution saying, you have no right to live anymore. This species needs to go.
Evolution saying, I've made a mistake with this one and I'm going to fix my problem.
What a sad thing that would be. Nando's peri-peri seasoning as well.
They've recently started giving like feta and avocado ones, and I don't. Maybe like maybe that's alien parts as well. And oh no, oh Nando's, fuck.
Oh dear. I hope no one out there is eating Nando's while they're listening, because otherwise you've just found out the truth, and it's really not a nice truth to know. But enjoy your alien meat. I hear it's low fat. It's good for you.
This episode is brought to you by Menace.